Hello, welcome back to BrokeNbricks. My name is Owen, and this is the 2026 LEGO version of the Batmobile from the Batman. And today's the 2nd of March, so this has just come out yesterday for $24.99 in the UK, which is the same as the last one, I think. And speaking of the last one, I do actually have that here. It's all disassembled at the moment, but I will be rebuilding it so that we can do a comparison later in the video. So as much as I wanted to get this from the LEGO store yesterday, I did have to go to John Lewis instead because the queue for the LEGO store was really long and I didn't feel like waiting in line because I already knew that this was the only thing that I would be picking up. I do want the Sauron helmet as well, but I'm going to wait for a sale on that one. So if you're not familiar with my channel, what I do in these reviews is review the set after I've completed each of the numbered bags in the build. Just to keep things interesting, you know, reviewing the set after I've completed each bag instead of just doing what everyone else does and waiting until the entire set is finished. Okay, I've finished talking now, it's time to start building. So starting with bag 1, we have the new Batman minifigure, and the main reason that this is an upgrade over the old one is the dual molded legs. On the old one it was just printed on black legs, so the grey kind of looked a little bit washed out and it didn't quite match the torso. And the printing on the torso and the legs is really nice. It's very detailed with all the armour plates, and you can even see it's got some bits of yellow on there as well, which I don't think were present on the old one. And under the cape it's got some back printing as well, which is very nice. The only real complaint that I have is the cowl. I mean, it's nice by itself, with the dual molding to get the white eyes, but do you see the white lenses on this Batman? No, you do not. And this is the exact same problem that I had with the previous one, where it just doesn't look anything like the Robert Pattinson Batman. The face print underneath is really nice though. I think it does a good job of capturing Robert Pattinson's likeness, and then he's smiling on the back, which is a little bit unusual. And then the cape is just sort of a standard Batman cape, which is absolutely fine. It's just, yeah, I really do not like this cowl piece. I think it needs to be something like the Captain America helmet, but with a couple of ears attached to it. And then that way you can see the actual eyes from the minifigure head coming through. The end of the day is still an upgrade over the old one, so I'm happy about that. And then this is the progress of the build from bag 1, with the Batmobile starting to take shape. And what really caught my eye that I didn't know about was this piece for the gear stick is in chrome silver. Then there is some detailing on the sides. I do not know much about cars at all, so I'm not going to even attempt to try any terminology. But we do have the bumper on the front, which is very bulked up for ramming cars like the Penguin's car. And then we also have some translucent red tiles on top of some white plates to get the light coming through for the engine. And you can see from the underside that this is mostly based on one of those big Speed Champions pieces. So there's not too much to say about this given how incomplete it is, so we will just go ahead and start with bag 2. Here is bag 2 done, and this has built up the whole back of the car, including the engine, which looks really nice. And again we have those chrome silver pieces, which makes more sense now that it's not just the one on the inside. It does look really nice with the ingot pieces, and it's got some roller skate pieces here as well. And I really like the sides with these Speed Champions pieces. I feel like that's done a good job of capturing the shaping. You can see we've got the rear window as well with a red light on the top. And then this is what it looks like from the back with the engine. And these pieces here were really surprising to me. I don't think I've ever seen these before. With kind of like the suspension for attaching the back wheels. You can see that we built the sides a bit as well here, and you've got the wedge plates for the layers of armor plating. So yeah, this whole back section is really well done. I'm very happy with it, so let's go and finish the build with bag number 3. Bag 3 is done, so here is the completed Batmobile, and this looks really nice. I'm very happy with it. So we have the engine in the front, which uses a load of ingot pieces, and that looks really nice. And if you remove it, you can see that on the inside there is a printed gold tile with the 20 years of LEGO Batman symbol, which is another surprise to me. So clearly the early reviews, I was not watching them very carefully. So it is nice that they included an Easter egg there, and while the engine is out, I thought it was also interesting to see these new bracket pieces. You can see them here in the light grey, instead of having the plate attachment at the top or the bottom, it's in the middle. The roof of the Batmobile is quite simple, just using a 6x6 tile, which I think looks perfect, and you can remove that to get access to the inside. You can see that there is a couple of stickers for the dashboard, and we can also put Batman inside. So that's what Batman looks like driving the Batmobile. There's enough space behind him for his cape, and then we can put the roof back on, and this is the completed look. Finally, of course, we have the wheels with the stickered round tiles on each of them, and you can see that the design is different between the front and the back wheels, so that is just the same on the other side. And the front wheels are a little bit higher up, so that means when you put it on the ground it is leaning forward, and then you can drive it across your table. So I'm a really big fan of this, but what we're going to do now is to build the 2022 version so that we can do a little comparison, and then I will give my final thoughts on the new version. So with the 2022 Batmobile rebuilt, we'll start with the Batman minifigures. So you can see that the new one looks a lot better with the dual molded legs, and you can see that the printing on them is quite similar, but I do slightly prefer the new one. And the printing on the back of the new one as well is quite a bit different from the old one, so I'm going to imagine that the older one was based on concept art instead of the final product. And as much as I don't like this cowl, as I mentioned before, it definitely works a lot better than the, I think this is the same one from the Lego Batman movie. So as I said before, the new Batman minifigure is definitely an upgrade. And having the two Batmobiles side by side, the new one is definitely much better than the old one. The new one has a lot better shaping, especially at the front with the reinforced bumper, and also it has a much steeper slope for the windscreen, which matches the vehicle from the movie a lot better. I think with the old one, the red lights on the back do look better being wider how they are with this one. You can see that the engines are quite similar. I do think I prefer the new one being a little bit more compact. The shaping on the new one is a lot better, and you can also tell it sort of sits closer to the ground. There's a lot less space underneath it than with the old one. So as much as I like the older one at the time, and also it was probably based on concept art instead of the thing from the final movie, I think this new one is better in basically every way. So for my final thoughts on the new one, I do really like it. I think the build is basically perfect. The only downsides that I can say about this are Batman again using the same cowl piece and not having a new one to look more like the one from the movie. And also with the older one you did get the Penguin minifigure, so the new one just has Batman, so it kind of has a bit less value for your money. It would have been nicer for the new one to give us an extra minifigure, maybe an updated Selina Kyle with the mask piece. As far as Lego goes, this one is actually decent value for the price, so I probably wouldn't suggest to people that they wait for a sale. I do think you will probably be happy with paying full price for this one. So in conclusion, I think the build itself is basically perfect. The only thing bringing it down is the Batman minifigure a little bit. So overall, I think this one is going to be a lower A tier. So that is going to be it for my review of this Lego Batmobile. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing. We're almost at 500 subscribers, so there will be a giveaway when that happens, so make sure you stay around for that. Thank you everyone very much for watching. Let me know what you think of this Batmobile in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.
Good, Anakin, good. Subscribe. Subscribe now.
It should.
Do it.